Hello guys, this is Pap from Pap back at it again, and today we are here for the video of the king of games of this month. I've made it. It is the deck list you saw yesterday in the stream, but with a little bit of a couple of adjustments actually, and it works pretty good. Of course, I have to say that we are literally in the last 3 days of the month, so it's super easier to get the cog, but you already know that. Anyway, I think these decks stand a chance, I think as a rogue probably could be a very low rogue. The flare, of course, for a lot of you, I'm sorry for a lot of you that hate this, but this is literally the most versatile skill that we can play with, and is a synchro spamming decks. It's a synchro spamming deck, so if you enjoy Synchro, that's the video. This is a deck list for you. But before jumping right into it, guys, just a quick reminder, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me a lot. Let's jump right into it. So, I'm here with, of course, Sherry and her Revolution the Flare, because this is the deck list. So, let's go straight away into the focal point, okay? Flare, so we have the triple Sage, replaceable with triple Cosmo Brain, then we have triple Sorcier, double Necro Synchron, and 1 Bulb, and this is just the Flare part, okay? And that's super easy. Then we have the spicy part, like the card that are 1 card Synchro, and if you miss some of those copies, you can play even 2, even 2 of each, or 3 and 1, 3 and 2, or even 1 and 1. Of course, this is what makes the deck, like, you know, spicy. So if you have zero copy of these or this, just do not play this, okay? So, and here we go, the Skater Dawnwalker and Supe the Duskwalker. These cards are a 1 card and a half synchro summon. Why do I say that? Because both have the same effect. You can discard 1 other card and special summon a tuner from your deck. Now, the Skater is gonna summon the Fire and the Skater from your deck, while Supai Duskwalker is gonna summon Supai from your deck. So, this enables a Synchro Summon level 6, and this enables a Synchro Summon level 8. Now, for Dawnwalker, it's super easy. We have a couple of targets that are Dragon Berserker of the Tenny or Cyber Slash RP Lady, and you can go with any generic Synchro Summon, any generic level 8 Synchro monster. With this instead, it's a little bit tougher because as we saw on stream, we do not have that many Synchro level 6 that are actually worth summoning, especially going first. So I'm actually relying on a double Stardust Charge Warrior, especially because in doing the turn 1, what you can do is after you use the effect, you special summon the Duskwalker and the Supai on the field, and then you use the skill to send these to grave, transform it into a level 8, Sorceer the Flare, and you go into Power Soul Braver Dragon. That's the combo. And for the rest, we have, of course, 3 equip spells that are here for the Power Soul Braver Dragon. Very good for Life Extreme to pop a card, the Haute Eclair to pop a monster when the monster is sent to grave, and this instead because it's the equip spell you send to grave to activate the Braver Dragon's effect, and then it's an equip spell that can come back to your hand by paying 1000 life points, so you can do this in cycles, you know, again and again and again and again. Last but not least, what's your normal summon? Now, we went through Vodes and Sangan already during the stream, and these are some of the best options. Vodes because a normal summon can excavate the 3 top cards of your deck and basically grab any card you play multiple copies in your deck of. So, for example, if you excavate a Sage, you can get it. If you excavate one of the Skater, you can get it. And so, that's very nice. Triple Sangan, because instead, if this gets sent to grave, you can grab one of the Entrap, either Effect Veiler or DD Crow. That's why we're playing 1 and 1, because it's like we're playing 5, literally, as we have actually 4 and 4, because we have the Triple Sangan. That's the reason. Keep in mind, of course, that when you play a level 3 instead of a level 4, you have to change the level with the skill. So you put their level to 2, as you will see in the replays, and then you increase it back to 4 with the Necro Synchros effect. Now, during the stream I was playing double Veiler and double DD Crow, but then I switched to double Necro Gardener for a couple of reasons. The first reason is that I needed more normal summon. And of course we could play even like Witch of the Black Forest that has the same effect of Sangan, but instead I went for Necrogodna because Necrogodna, it's super good, not only when you normal summon it and you send to grave, because of course it's, you know, a card that can negate an attack, but also because these perfectly synergizes with the discard cost that the Dusk Walker and the Dawn Walker have. So if you have this card in your hand, you can literally discard it with this, and this is gonna have a very important effect. This is actually an important card, an important tech to use against stuff like heroes. So you're gonna, if they just gonna clear the field with Rainbow Neos, you can just have the Necro Gardener. You can rely on Necro Gardener in the grave, and as this is a quick effect, you can also chain it to Rainbow Neos clearing the graveyard. Keep in mind that. And the second reason is that I wanted to play more level 3 instead of level 4s, simply because the level 3 normal summons synergizes better with both the Dawn Walker and Dusk Walker. Why do I say that? Well, just take into account, you go into your turn 1, nothing happens, and, you know, it's your opponent goes on, you manage to survive, and it's your turn again, okay? What happens is that if you have Dusk Walker or Dawn Walker plus one of the level 3, you have access to one of the Trishulas. Because if you use Dusk Walker's effect, you summon a tuner level 1, and 1 plus 5 is 6. If you have a normal summon level 3, like Necrogodna or Sangan, well, you achieve 9, that is Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier. Same thing applies for Skater, the Dawn Walker. What happens is, you use its effect, you summon the Fire and the Skater, and you have 3, 5, plus a 3, or a 3 here, you've got 11, that is Trishula, 0 Dragon of the Ice Barrier. And that's why I prefer to play multiple copies of the level 3. I think it's just better. Not for the turn 1, because when you go first, you're just gonna turn their level into 4 with the skill and Necrosynchros effect. But more because of the late duels, the long duels, when you need to go into more synchro summon and more synchro plays. Okay? For the rest, guys, of the extra deck, apart from the 2 Trishulas, that actually these level 9, as I was explaining before, is not here just because of the floating effect of Trishula 0. You can actually summon this, not only in turn 1, but even in late duels. We have the Powered Soul Braver Dragon, core card, super easy to summon. Basically, it's a 1 card. Bulb becomes a 1 card combo into Powered Soul Braver Dragon eventually. You Berserker, because it's a genetic, the best genetic synchro level 8. Another one here that instead is for when you break. So you need it to be wind, because in case you draw nothing and you just have the Sauge de Flare and the Saussure de Flare in your hand, at least you can normal summon this, reduce its level by 2, and go with the Necrosynchron into a wind synchro monster, so that you can trigger the effect of Necrosynchron and summon the bulb out from your deck. Okay, then the rest is level 7, because depending on what you're playing against, turn 1 you can decide to go Clear Wing Synchro Dragon and Powered Soul Braver Dragon with the purpose of Clear Wing, just the one to protect, of course, your Powered Soul Braver Dragon, and then a couple of Stardust Charge Warrior, the one for the main combo with your normal summon, and the second one because it's basically what you can summon with the Supai Dusk Walker. It's just better to draw cards sometimes. That's just what I ended up finding. And of course, last but not least, Tingirsu, because you have tons of level 8 and you can go into it. Another thing, guys, I want to point out is that in the turn you use the effect of Dusk Walker or Dawn Walker, you cannot Xyz summon, because these 2 cards both specifically say that if you activate their effect, you cannot special summon monster from the extra deck except synchro monsters. And it does not say for the rest of this turn, it says for the whole turn. So this means that if you summon first the Dingirsu, you can't activate any of these 2 effects. And same thing happens if you first activate any of these 2 effects, you can't summon Dingirsu. Keep that in mind, because it can be life-saving. Guys, that's everything for the explanation. Hope you understood everything. Of course, if you have any questions, don't forget to drop them in the comment section down below. And let's jump right into the replays. Here we go, my boys. First replay against a hero player, just to you know, to give you some fresh duels, literally. It's us to go first, and we have an interrupt actually, but we have the normal summon, the most important thing. So as you can see here with the level 2, you change the level with the skill to 2, and then you increase it back to 4 to have a total of 6 with Necro Synchro. You draw a card, you get the bulb out, and we got not a good draw. At this point, we just went into Power Suit Braver Dragon. That's the problem when you do not draw any of the Escators, unfortunately. Any of the Downwalker or Duskwalker. We got the boy, but we also got an Interrupt, and we also got, of course, the Necrogarna Engrave being fundamental here. So we have a boy that started with the Neo set, then of course grabbing the Super Poly and the Poly. He's got Super Poly straight away to get rid of my boy. The good thing is that guy is gonna be destroyed thanks to the effect of Haute-Eclair. That's why we keep Haute-Eclair in this case, so one less monster, and that's fine. Then he went straight away with Neos Fusion, and here he comes, he has the Rainbow Neos. At this point he used the effect, and I decided to negate that, even though I have to activate the Necrogarna from the grave, but just because I was afraid he would have had some other play, probably not because he's Neos Fusion, but I didn't want him to shuffle everything back to my deck because I didn't want to draw, for example, another Necro Synchron again. So now with this I have higher chances of getting something that I need. So he went attacking, of course Necrogarden saves the day, as I told you in the decklist breakdown. Necrogarden is dead for that reason. Then Bulb to begin with, allow life barrier, says no thank you. We're still going into the Sorcerer to grab the Neos. At this point, Synchro summon into Cyber/RP Lady, and then Ixie summoning into Din Girsu to basically get rid of Rainbow Neos. Even if he has the protection, I attacked just because I wanted to fool him into activating the effect of Necrogarna, but I didn't. But he didn't forget that Life Barrier was actually activated that turn. So he went with the Armor Jungle level 10. He has a couple of cards, so guess what's happening? It's just discarding 2 to pop Dingirsu because we're gonna protect, of course, our boy. He's attacking in the end, getting rid of it, but now we got another Sorcerer, and here I misplayed, guys, because I targeted Necrogarna. That was stupid, because in this case he didn't lose the effect because he chained it, but I lost the monster, so that was really stupid. I should have taken anything else to pop then with Sarge the Flare. That was just stupid, guys, but my misplay. So of course Sarge the Flare anyway to pop the Armor Dragon level 10, so we can do this again and attacking. Of course Necrogarna avoids the damage, and you just have a set card, but he can't do nothing. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go. Second duel, my boys, interrupting a 10 win streak here. What are we talking about? So it's him to go first though, and we do not have like a crazy hand, of course, but he started with the Brave Neos with the Crosskeeper to draw a card. Then he's got the Jogani Contact, the Armor Dragon Thunder level 10, and of course the Double Search, the Poly and the Super Poly. Flipping that up, double set, and here we go. It's us to go. We got the Necro Flare, and we draw exactly the Surge. Perfect. We first get rid of a short interruptions, right? So that boy, we said goodbye to that. Then Necro Flare bringing out the Sorcerer the Flare to steal that, and he's got Book of Eclipse. That is unfortunately bad because we can't do nothing. We can just wait, even though the Armor Dragon Thunder level 10 remains on our side because it was flipped down. Of course, it does not have the effects though, because he forgets from what he was summoned. So we just have a lot of bodies there. But we drew a Necrogarna, and because we had too many cards in hand, we had to discard, and we discarded the Necrogarna. Fundamental again. So he's got Wise Fundamental because of course he can just go into Armor Dragon level 10 and wipe out my whole field. That's of course the problem. There you go. We got the Surge just to get a Necro Flare back to my hand because I have another Surge and eventually I can use the effect again. So he's got just the attack and I avoided the damage with the Necrogarna. At this point we can set the Necro Flare and do the thing back again. We popped the back row because this guy is not even an interruption, so we don't care about that. Super Poly, we need to get rid of the other one, so we got Sorcier, summoning the Neos. Bad thing, because he can have gone, actually not bad thing, because we popped the Super Poly, so this is okay to stay there. So Dingirsu to get rid of the other back row, but it's got Effect Vader to stop my Dingirsu. At this point, we still have all of the skill to activate, so 2 plus 7 is of course Power Tool Brave a Dragon, getting all of the keep spells, then Despair to decrease the attack. It went for the Typhoon, popping the Life Extreme, and that's still fine because now we can just attack, getting some damage done, but at least we're chilling because we have, you know, interruptions there. So he started with the Neos, with the Stratos, and we negate that because otherwise it can go Polymerization, Liquid, draw a lot of cards, so we just stopped that. At this point, I didn't, in this case guys, I didn't pay the 1000 life points because I was afraid of losing, so I just didn't pay the 1000 life points. He's got of course the Armor Jungle level 10 again. First time, negated. Second time, negated. Third time, unfortunately, everything gets popped, but Autoclair says, you know what, you get popped too. And now it's us. We have 5 cards, actually 6, against our opponent that has none. We can just go Bodis, search whatever we need. We got the Supai, exactly what we needed, and he's scooped at this point. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go. Third duel, this was the 4th win in a row. I think this was a rank up probably, guys. So it's us to go, and you can see what happens when you have one of the boys, right? One of the Dusk Walker or the Dawn Walker. So we started with Sangan, to of course same thing here. You change the level, then you go 6. In this case, you got 3 effects. Sangan to grab an Entrop, Stardust Charge Water to draw a card, Necrosynchron to summon the bulb. Lovely. So we got the DD Crow, because against Shaddolls, you don't have DD Crow eventually. I went for Clearwing Synchro Dragon, here it comes, and then Supai to summon itself, summon the tuner level 1. At this point, you use the skill to send the level 5 to grave, and you got 8 plus 1 is of course Power Tool Braver Dragon. Here it comes, you get of course the 3 keep spells and your children. At this point guys, you have a choice. We could also use the effect of Glow Up Bulb to come back on the field and then go into Berserker there. But I decided not to, because the effect of stuff like a Shaddoll Construct can be negated by Clearwing Synchro Dragon. That's why I left these on the field, because I felt better. Also, these can actually also negate stuff that targets my Power 2 Braver Dragon. He just played defensively, set monsters, set cards. It was about to end the man phase, and you know what I did? I changed my monster to defense so that I could pop a card here, and I paid the 1000 life points to get the Equip spell back to my hand. First back row, gone. It was a Dogmatica punishment, actually. Then change the thing again. It's got Schism, but it can't do nothing, so you can just activate that, but still. Glow Up Bulb here to go, in this case now, into Cyber Slash RP Lady, because now we're using the Archfiend spell card to trigger the effect of Cyber Slash RP Lady, bounce the face down monster, and go for lethal. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go, rank up. 5th win in a row. Guess what? Against heroes. It's full of heroes, guys. I guess you could expect that, right? So we got it's him to go first. Giovanni Contact here to get the Poly. He's got of course the Armor Giant Thunder level 10. You also discard the Crosskeeper, so potential 4 draws incoming. He just got Brave Neos though, because he had the Phantom Knights to grab another card. Yeah, makes sense. To grab the Chop card, basically to avoid the destruction of one of his boys. And it's actually a good move, as you will see here, especially against this deck. Because now if I try to pop any of the 2 with the effect of Sage, he's just gonna use Phantom Knight's Wing to avoid the destruction. That was pretty smart, actually. And we pop that, so Super Poly is live. We've got Necroflare summoning the Sorcier that's gonna try to summon the Neos. He's got Karma Cut though, not the Super Poly. Weird thing. So okay, Karma Cut to get rid of that. At this point, we got another level 8, but he still has the effect of the Armor Giant Thunder level 10, discarding the Poly, popping, but we're not done yet. So first, level 2, normal summon the Votis, getting another Surge the Flare for another turn maybe? Who knows if we're gonna have another one. Then Stardust Charge, draw a card, get the bulb out on the field. Then 1 plus 8 is Power 2 Braver Dragon. We also got the Skater, dude. Power 2 to get the tree thing. Also, the Sarge the Flare to get one more card to my hand. And here he comes then. A Skater Dawnwalker, summoning himself in a level 3 tuner to go straight away into Berserker. Keep in mind, I discarded a Necro Gardener. So for the next turn, we also have Necro Gardener. It's not gonna be a next turn. Because now we summon this in defense because we can use first Bulb to come back, and then 6+1 is Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. At this point, Archfiend Staff of Despair to make all of my opponent's monsters lose attack equal to half the equipped monster. So in this case, 1,250. And then we use the effect, change the battle position to trigger Life Extreme. Pop the boy that can't be destroyed by battle. The Archfiend Staff comes back to my hands. We equip it again and we attack. And I even misplayed here because I should have attacked probably with the Power 2 Braver Dragon to inflict more damage. But I did it with this because I wanted the boost to be ready. And we're just going for a little. That's how you do it, my boys. There you freaking go. Here we go, my boys, going second against Shaddolls. We faced them going first, now we face them going second. We have a very great hand because we have normal summon, we got the Sage, we're kinda chilling. He started with the Artemis, let's speed things up. Shaddoll fusion to go into the Deconstruct, sending stuff, setting a Falco, and sending also the Adjog, and of course the Adjog, flip it up to get the Schism. Ready, couple sets, and he's good to go. We got, of course, the Necro Flare set, so we can start, of course, with I actually started with Vodus because I wanted to banish stuff rather than popping. So here comes Necro Flare face up. Then we have the level 8 ready. So I want to go into Trishula. So eventually, why did I do this, guys? Because he could have gone into Winda. So if you activate the effect of Sarge the Flare here, he chains to summon Winda, and we dead. Like, we can't do anything else because Winda, of course, locks us into no more special summons. That's why I wanted to make sure that my first special summon, it's actually Trishula that can get Trishula 0, of course, that can get rid, of course, of Winda if he decides to summon it. So here it comes, 8+2+1, Trishula 0 to banish 3, and he didn't even try at this point because there's nothing he could do. Duskwalker to summon himself in a level tuner 1, then Sarge the Flare here to pop my Duskwalker, pop the set monster that was a Shaddoll Falco that comes back again. Better to trigger his effect to come back than the other one of flipping it up to summon something from the grave. So here it comes. I also, look at this, I equipped the declare that was in my hand, so I made sure that that was sent to the grave so that I could use its effect straight away. So the Power 2 Braver Dragon that actually equips that back again. Sarge the Flare to have one more card in my hand, the Bulb in this case, popping the face-up monster that grabs a monster to his hand, then tripled here, and here I misplayed. I should have summoned Braver Dragon in defense position, and then use the effect of Braver Dragon itself to change its own battle position to pop the set monster, so I could have gone for lethal, but I misplayed here, I didn't do it, and I'm just attacking. But still I feel pretty safe because we have a pop, potentially, a negation, plus a floating effect, so I'm really chilling right now. It's got the droplet, but it's cooped. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go. Here we go, my boys. Fourth win in a row. This was for my rush to King of Games. So this was the fourth, and we got the fifth that got me to King of Games. It's us to go first against a Revolution the Flare deck. So we started with the Supai, getting the level 1 Synchro Summon into Stardust Charge Warrior. So this is super nice when you do not have the normal summon to go into the level 6. So into the Stardust Charge. We got the draw, now we got the normal summon, and we can do it actually because we summon it. We get we're still doing this, guys. We're going to another Stardust Charge Warrior, not because we can draw again, because this is a hard once per turn, so you can draw only once per turn, but just because we wanted to trigger the effect of Necrosynchron and get the Bulb out. So here he comes, and then Clear Wing Synchro Dragon. If you play against Revolution the Flare, you want to have Clear Wing, because Clear Wing can stop Sarge, can stop all of these Sorcerer the Flare's effect, so that's why you want to definitely have this on your face up on the field. At this point, the bulb comes back, the effect to change the level 6 into a level 8, so we can have, of course, the power to Braver Dragon with the Tree Keep spell, and we're chilling. So we have the negation or the pop, the double negation here, an end trap, and also, don't forget about it, Necro Garden Engrave. That's why we're loving it. So he started with Necroflare set, then he has actually Prep of Rites, plus Droplet, sending both, so my monsters are actually KO. It is Necros the Flare here, Brio to begin with, getting the Shoot It, then Clausulus to get the Necros Mirror. At this point, he's going Necros Mirror to summon straight away Trishula, Necros of Trishula. But guess what? We can just chain DD Crow, so we have no cards in hand and he gets no effect. Lovely. So we get rid of Brio eventually, so he can't summon it back from the grave with Necro Cycle if he has it. Then he went with a couple of monsters, but as soon as he flips this guy up, Life Extreme gets triggered and we pop a boy. And then when he attacked, he forgot that Life Extreme actually nerfs his attack and he's scooped. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go. Last but not least, guys, as you can see, I was Legend Rank 5 here against this guy that I think he basically bricked. So it's just to show you, of course, that I did it. This was the 4th win in a row, the 5th win in a row, sorry, and it's us to go. We got the first turn, a perfect turn 1, as you can see here, because you want to have both in your hand, because if you have both and you have a Dusk Walker or a Dawn Walker, you're just discarding this with this. That's why it's lovely. We're gonna send that back to the deck, so this is the ideal turn 1, as you will see here, because we got the draw, the search, the and of course the bulb coming out from the deck, and plus we're getting, look at that, plus we're getting the first the Killer Ring Synchro Dragon and now the Supai to discard the Necro Gardener. So we got the defense for the next turn during our opponent's turn, changing the Supai to a level 8 to go, of course, into Power Tool Brave Dragon with the tree equip spells, and we're chilling. We're so much chilling. But I decided, because I was afraid this was Raid Raptor, but it was not in the end, I instead decided to go into Berserker, because if this was Raid Raptor, you want to have more negation, more banishing ready, so there you go. And instead it was Precious Scout of the Dark. It was, I think, an Orcus deck that was, he summoned Kyroid and he scooped. And this was my King of Games rank up. That's how you do it, my boys. There you go. Guys, this deck is nuts. And keep in mind, it will just get better over time, because the more Synchro support Konami releases, Synchro support level 8 and level 6, but also level 9 potentially, the more, the better this deck becomes, because this is just, you know, a lot of stuff that can Synchro summon. You can just Synchro summon a lot. So the more Synchro, the more good Synchro cards we have access to, the better becomes this deck. And I love it, guys. As almost all of my Flare version, I do love this. I really love this. And nothing, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below for this King of Games deck list. Thanks a lot for watching, and as always, see you in the next one.